You have been told 1,000 stories, haven't you? That if you just add one more technique, one more affirmation, one more ritual, then the gates will open. You have been led to believe that life is a locked door, and you must gather keys, journaling keys, visualizing keys, meditating keys, until at last the universe relents and lets you in. But hear me clearly. This is the first illusion. It is the lie that keeps seekers running in circles, gathering tools but never touching the treasure. The truth? You do not need another tool. You do not need another step in the labyrinth. You need to turn, at last, to the only place you have avoided, your own reflection. You see, the forbidden law does not ask you to reach higher or strain harder. It asks you to descend, to step across the threshold of the mirror, to face what most cannot bear to face, yourself. For Neville Goddard spoke not to the impatient ego, but to the sleeping soul. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Not wait, not beg, not hustle. Change. And change begins not with outer action, but with inner reconception, identity, assumption, being. But here lies the terror. Because to change who you are, you must confront who you have been. And most people will do anything to avoid that confrontation. They will clutter their shelves with books, flood their notebooks with affirmations, consume hours of recordings, and still never once stand naked before their own gaze. The mirror is the most avoided altar in the modern world. We pass it hurriedly. We glance at hair, at flaws, at lines of age, but we do not look. We do not dare. Why? Because the mirror is merciless. It reflects every fracture in the identity, every shadow you've hidden under polite masks, every hunger you've smothered with distractions. Yet, the same mirror that exposes weakness reflects power once you decide to speak from it. And this is the forbidden law, not a spell in some dusty book, not a technique reserved for gurus. It is a law etched into the marrow of being. Your external world is nothing but a mirror of your internal assumption. Do you see? The universe does not mock you, does not withhold from you. It simply reflects you. It is the cosmic looking glass. And so, if you have felt stuck, if you have whispered to yourself, "Perhaps I am not chosen, perhaps I am not worthy, perhaps I am not lucky," know this: it is not reality that has bound you. It is your conception of yourself. That is the lie. The lie that you are unworthy, unchosen, unlucky. That is the myth we shatter tonight. For there is a deeper truth waiting behind the glass. You are not required to beg for timing. You are not required to earn worthiness. You are not required to plead for breakthrough. You need only to assume, to embody, the identity of the one who already has it. And the ritual begins not in the clouds, not in the stars, but in the mirror before you. So tonight, we enter. Not with hesitation, but with reverence. This is not cosmetic. This is alchemy. Not another technique, but the crucible where the old self dies and the new is born. The mirror becomes the grail. The phrase becomes the sword. And you are both the knight and the king, stepping into your own coronation. Remember this as we move forward. The world reflects you. Identity precedes reality. The mirror is the forbidden law's portal. The lie is broken, the myth undone. The work begins here. Do not mistake it. The mirror is not mere glass. It is not a shiny surface where light bounces back and forms an image of your face. No, the mirror is a threshold, an ancient doorway. Every culture has whispered of it. Mirrors as portals, as dangerous, as sacred. Some covered them in mourning, fearing the soul would be trapped within. Others gazed into them to divine omens, to speak with the dead. Always, always, humanity has known. The mirror is not neutral, and yet you, in your ordinary days, treat it as if it were nothing. You pass it while brushing your teeth, adjusting your collar, checking for blemishes. You have reduced the gateway to a grooming tool. But when you pause, when you step before it with reverence, you discover its hidden power. For the mirror has watched every version of you, without judgment, without commentary. It has seen you weeping in secret, and it has seen you triumphant. It has seen you in the glow of beginnings, and it has seen you in the ash of endings. The mirror remembers what you try to forget. It holds the imprint of your becoming. And here lies the paradox. Most people avoid the mirror because they fear what it reveals. The blemishes, the lines, the hollowness in the eyes. But this avoidance is precisely why they remain trapped. They never enter the gate, so they never reach the kingdom on the other side. Jung would call it shadow work. To face the parts of yourself you exile into the dark. Your doubts, your unworthiness, your fears. The mirror reflects them, yes, but it also offers the chance to transmute them, to see not only the wound, but also the warrior. The mirror is the grail, and you are both the seeker and the one sought. The face you see is both your exile and your king. To look upon it is to stand at the threshold between two worlds, the identity that crumbles and the identity that rises. And so tonight, when you stand before that glass, it is not casual, it is sacred. You are not checking an appearance, you are approaching an altar. The silence in the room becomes your temple. Your breath becomes the smoke of incense. The gaze you hold becomes the torch that lights the underworld. For here, the ritual begins. The moment your eyes lock upon themselves, time softens and the veil thins. You feel it, the sense that you are not merely watching, but being watched. The reflection becomes alive. It stirs. It waits. It waits for you to speak, because the mirror does not transform you. You transform you through what you declare into it. The mirror is not magician, but vessel. It amplifies what you dare to pronounce. You see, this is why most turn away. To speak before the mirror is to bind yourself. To proclaim identity into your own eyes is to carve it into the bedrock of the subconscious. And once you have spoken it, there is no retreat. This is why it feels forbidden. Because most people want escape routes. They want to whisper, but not commit. They want to hope, but not embody. They want to play with transformation like a game. But the mirror does not play. The mirror consecrates. And so you stand upon its threshold, trembling not because of what you see, but because you sense what is about to awaken. For next comes the gaze, the most terrifying act. Not the phrase, not the proclamation. No. The true terror is to hold your own eyes without flinching, to meet the soul behind the reflection, to see the shadow and the oracle both. Yes. That is where we are going next. Deeper than glass, deeper than appearance, into the eyes, into the soul, into the confrontation that begins the alchemy. So here you are. The room is silent. The air feels heavier now, as if even the walls are waiting. You stand before the mirror, not rushing, not casual, but present. And then comes the moment you have always avoided. You lift your gaze into your own eyes, not your skin, not your hair, not the features you have spent years criticizing, adjusting, filtering. No, your eyes. It is here that the true threshold opens, for the eyes are not ornaments. They are windows, portals, gateways. The eyes do not lie, because the soul cannot pretend. When you stare long enough, you begin to see beyond the mask. At first, it feels unbearable. Something in you wants to flinch, to glance away. A nervous tick, a sudden itch, a restless shifting of your stance. Why? Because you are not trained to witness yourself. You are trained to skim the surface, to edit, to control what others see. But to meet your own gaze is to lose the script. And so you resist. You laugh awkwardly. You think, this is silly, but stay with the eyes, because beneath that discomfort lives the truth you have hidden, the truth you are afraid to name. Look closer. There's a shadow there. Yes, the parts you despise, the parts you bury, the mistakes, the failures, the shame you carry silently. Jung called it the shadow, the rejected brother, the serpent you push into the underworld of your psyche. The mirror will not let you forget him. He surfaces in your gaze. But do not fear. The shadow is not here to harm you. The shadow waits to be integrated. He is the unpolished gold. He is power that has been turned against you only because it has been repressed. To look into your eyes is to look into him, to say, I see you. I will not exile you any longer. And what else do you see? The survivor, the one who endured what no one else even knows about. The tired nights, the heartbreaks swallowed in silence, the mornings you rose again, even when your spirit felt broken. That presence is still there, behind your gaze, steady, watchful, waiting. The reflection does not beg for your approval. It does not plead for repair. It waits to be claimed. For what you are staring into is not only who you are, it is the seed of who you are becoming. Look deeper still. Behind the shadow, behind the survivor, there emerges something archetypal. Perhaps you glimpse the inner king, calm, commanding, assured. Perhaps the oracle, the quiet voice that has whispered to you in dreams, now finally face to face. Perhaps the anima or animus, the hidden twin within, waiting to balance you into wholeness. Yes, in your own eyes all archetypes flicker. For the self, capital S, is not one image but the totality, the divine pattern waiting to be embodied. And here, staring into your eyes, you encounter the self more directly than through any philosophy. Stay with it. Hold your gaze, even when it trembles, even when tears well, even when you feel the impulse to look away. Because this is the crucible. This is where the mirror stops being glass and becomes grail. This is where self-reflection becomes soul recognition. And as you look, something shifts. The image ceases to feel like you, the you of habits and memories. Instead, it begins to feel like a stranger, yet not a stranger. A double, a future self already alive in some dimension, waiting for you to claim it. This is what Neville meant by the assumption of the wish fulfilled. Not pretending, not fantasizing, but gazing into your own eyes and realizing the one who already has it is here, staring back at me. Yes, that is the moment. That is the fire. And when you feel it, you are ready. Ready for the phrase, ready for the eightfold declaration that seals the transformation. For the eyes open the gate, but the words walk you through it. The mirror is silent. Your eyes are steady. You know something must be spoken. Words are not decoration. They are incantation. They shape the subconscious, and the subconscious shapes the world. Neville knew this. Creation begins not with effort, but with assumption spoken as truth. So here's the phrase, simple yet burning. I am the one who already has it. It is done. It is mine now. You will speak it 8 times. Why 8? Because 8 is infinity folded. It is completion and rebirth. It seals the circle and opens it anew. The first repetition feels strange. Say it anyway. The second, stronger. Your voice begins to carry weight. The third, see the future self standing in the mirror. The fourth, clearer. Their presence merges with yours. The fifth, confidence settles into your body. The sixth, you speak not as seeker, but as that future self. The seventh, ownership is complete. The eighth, you declare, not hoping, not begging, but knowing. I am the one who already has it. It is done. It is mine now. The subconscious listens. She does not respond to wishful murmurs, but to the authority of embodiment. And when you finish, the shift has already begun. The mirror has witnessed it. The old identity dissolves. A new conception has been planted. This is no longer repetition. This is declaration. Not someday, now. Not almost, now. The ritual does not end here. Now the phrase must become flesh, lived in each choice, carried in each step. This is the alchemy of identity, and it begins the moment you step away from the glass. The words have been spoken, eightfold, like a seal pressed into wax, and now the true work begins. Because you see, the danger is subtle. After the mirror, most walk away and return to their old posture, their old thoughts, their old waiting. They say the phrase but live as beggars, and then they wonder why nothing shifts. But you cannot go back. Not if you mean this. Alchemy is not about repeating phrases forever. It is about embodiment. The phrase is the spark. Embodiment is the fire. So you must carry yourself as the one who already has it. Walk as them. Speak as them. Choose as them. When you sit down to eat, when you answer the phone, when you say yes, when you say no, you are no longer the one who is hoping. You are the one who has. And the subconscious, that hidden queen who runs the kingdom behind the throne, notices. She does not listen to what you wish. She listens to what you live. Neville said, "To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to be lifted to the state of consciousness where it is already fact." This is not metaphor. This is literal. The shift does not wait. It begins the moment you embody. So test it. Tonight, when doubt whispers, answer as the one who already owns the promise. When old habits rise, decline them as the king who no longer bargains. Each small choice becomes gold poured into the mold of your new identity. This is alchemy. Lead becoming gold. Old self fading, new self crystallizing. And though reality seems unchanged for a while, remember this. Reality does not lead, it follows. It rearranges itself to mirror the conception you hold. So do not wait for proof. Walk as the proof. Do not wait for signs. You are the sign. The mirror has marked you. The words have sealed you. Now every gesture is either a betrayal of the ritual or the living out of it. The shift is not coming. It has already come. You step away from the mirror. The ritual is done, or so it seems. Yet this is the moment where most falter. They expect fireworks, a sudden sign, the universe bending visibly in an instant. And when nothing dramatic happens, they doubt. But listen closely. The proof is not out there. The proof is you. The new self does not wait for confirmation. It moves as confirmation. You are not a beggar scanning the sky for omens. You are the omen, the living prophecy. This is why Neville warned. Do not hope. assume. Do not look for evidence. Be the evidence. The universe is a mirror, remember? It does not send signs to convince you. It simply reflects back what you already claim to be. So how do you return? You return by acting from the identity already spoken into existence. The voice you use, the way you enter a room, the choices you make when no one is watching. These are the ripples that reality rearranges itself around. Walk through your home differently. Sit in your chair differently. Answer the question not as the one who longs, but as the one who knows. If the old self whispers, but nothing has changed, answer with calm authority. Everything has already shifted. The world simply has not caught up yet. Because this is law. Conception precedes manifestation. The seed sprouts underground before it bursts into view. To doubt the seed because you cannot yet see the tree is to betray the soil that is already alive with roots. So return not as seeker, but as sovereign, not as one waiting, but as one walking. For the ritual did not end in the mirror. It only began there. The world now becomes your mirror, echoing back the state you chose. You are the proof. You are the sign. And reality will rise to meet you. And now we arrive at the circle's end. The mirror stands behind you, silent witness to what was spoken. The phrase lingers in the air like incense, invisible but heavy with presence. You are not who you were when you first approached. That self, hesitant, doubting, fragmented, faded when you dared to gaze, when you dared to speak. What stands now is something else, someone else. Do not rush from this truth. Pause. Feel it. The shift is subtle yet undeniable. You walked into the mirror as seeker. You walk out as sovereign. Remember the law. It is done. It is mine now. Repeat it once more, not as ritual, but as remembrance. Say it softly, like a vow whispered into eternity. I am the one who already has it. It is done. It is mine now. Let it echo in your chest. Let it burn into your breath. This phrase is not a charm to be repeated endlessly. It is an identity to be lived. For the forbidden law has revealed itself. The world reflects you. Your conception shapes your creation. Reality bends to the image you dare to embody. You have crossed the threshold. You have spoken the declaration. You have returned carrying proof in your very being. So walk now as the one who already has. Sit in power. Move in certainty. Breathe as one reborn. And know this, the ritual will call you back. The mirror will wait for you, silent and patient, ready for the next deepening. Each time you return, you step closer to the archetype of your fullest self, the king, the oracle, the vessel of wholeness. But tonight, the work is complete. The old self is memory. The new self lives. You are no longer asking. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer hoping. You are. You have. It is done. And so it is.